Alright, well we got happy, peaceful, sleepy time music, but is it really that peaceful? Maybe not, who knows. The next day, everyone meets downstairs for breakfast. Okay. So we're at least able to come out, that's good. A butler had knocked bright and early on our doors to tell us breakfast would be served. Zach and I were the first ones downstairs, followed by Kara and Amelia. The Pongo snoozes softly inside of my scarf, taking advantage of a few extra winks. I wonder what Leanna's decision is going to be. If she'll bend to her parents' will or fight for her own path. Also, where is she? My heart thunders with nerves. I'm so unsure of how this day is going to go. If she decides to go through with this marriage, everything is going to change. She won't be able to keep the job she loves and will be... I shake my head. I can't complete that thought. The thought.
Good morning.
Leon nods to us and sits down at the table. His hair is brushed and tidy and his armor is spotless. Suddenly, I hear some footsteps. I look and see Leanna approaching the table. That's good. Her face is pale and her blue eyes don't have that usual sparkle.
Hi.
She smiles and my heart caves for her. It's clear she hasn't slept well at all. Good morning. Leanna takes a seat next to me. She glances at me and I flash her a reassuring smile. She relaxes slightly and nods. I guess my presence last night helped her a little bit. Kara leans over. Leanna looks up at Kara, who gives her an encouraging grin.
Today is going to be better. Now that everyone's had a chance to sleep on it, I'm sure you'll be able to have a calm, rational discussion.
Part of the issue is, now that Kara is emphasizing this so much, I really don't think it's going to go that way. I think it's still going to be all drama-filled. I think they're kind of going to double down. I could be wrong. That's how I feel right now. Leanna nods.
Thanks, Kara. I concur. Should you continue your discussion today, it should be about finding solutions as the raw emotions have already been expressed. I hope that's true.
Yeah, one would hope.
Have you made your decision?
She nods again.
Yeah.
What's it gonna be then? I jerk my head up. My stomach twists. I want nothing more than to comfort her, to wrap an arm around her or hold her hand, but I know I can't. Even more so, I'm wondering what it is she's going to do. The anticipation is killing me. Just as I'm about to ask Leanna about her decision, another set of footsteps echo across the marble. Lady Dawn looks just as uneasy as Leanna. Her hair is pinned up in curls and she wears a beautiful satin gown. Her cheeks are just as pale as Leanna's, and it's clear that she hadn't had a good night's rest either. Lord Dawn stands at her side. His jaw is clenched, his spine locked. His stormy presence seems to fill up the entire room. Not a word is said as they cross over to their seats.
Good morning.
She struggles to smile. The tension in the air is heavy, dampening conversation. And see, this time, with the music off, it is a little bit more tense.
How is everyone? Did you all sleep well?
Quite well, thank you. The bed here is much more comfortable than the one back at the academy.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Without even a glance at his breakfast, Lord Dawn pushes his plate aside and folds his hands over the table. His sharp gaze falls onto his daughter.
We need to talk about what happened yesterday.
Leanna slowly puts her fork down.
Okay.
Her voice is careful, guarded.
How long have you been a mage knight?
Her cheeks flush.
I started as soon as I earned the title from the Mage Academy.
Well, yeah, I think that makes sense. He blinks, clearly shocked. Even his wife lets out a breath of surprise. Wait, is that not common? Isn't it typically a thing where it's I graduated and I have this, now I'm gonna be this thing? I mean, unless you can't find a job, but... His mouth curls as though he's just tasted something sour.
So you mean to tell me that you have been lying to us since the beginning?
Leanna keeps her nerves steady.
Yes.
That ends now. You will give up this irresponsible behavior, and you will be married.
Good talk. My stomach drops. Leanna lurches to a stand.
I am not marrying him, and I will not give up being a mage knight.
Shock ripples through me. At the same time, so does relief. Her father sighs deeply, exasperated.
Why must you make this so difficult, Liana?
I'm not the one who's making things difficult.
I would have assumed that you would have thought this through last night. But you are still being completely irrational.
Completely and utterly, Leanna. How dare you? The heat returns to Leanna's voice.
I'm not the one who's forcing me to give up my dream and purpose in life.
Oh, spare me the theatrics. How could this be your dream? Don't you realize how dangerous it is to be a mage knight?
Yes, I do realize that. I live it every day. But at least, as a mage knight, I'm well equipped to take care of myself. I've been trained to handle danger.
That's true, she has. He shakes his head.
You can't be prepared for every circumstance. What if you get ambushed, outnumbered, or overwhelmed in battle? What if your teammates fall and you're the only one left?
Yeah, there are certain things that you have to accept, but that doesn't mean that it's the wrong choice.
So what if that does happen? How can we live life based on hypotheticals? What if I became ill? What if I couldn't bear children? Would you still force me to get married? But if those things happened, I wouldn't be able to fulfill my duty as a lady in the House of Dawn. Then what?
Her father scowls and waves a hand dismissively.
That's not the same. Those are all based on chance. You aren't throwing yourself into situations which would allow those things to occur. As a mage knight, you're walking into those scenarios every day.
Leanna points a finger at Leon. Her voice is shrill as she tries to keep her composure.
What about Leo then? He's a mage knight who walks into danger every day. Why aren't you worried about him?
Because it's his responsibility to serve and protect as a man in the House of Dawn.
For once, Leanna is speechless. Silence settles over the table like a heavy blanket. Her mother stares at her lap, as still as a statue. Leon opens and closes his mouth as if he wants to speak but can't find the words to say. Her father nods.
Now that you've come to your senses, we can discuss the details
You
of the engagement.
prick! I hate you so much.
No.
The rage returns to her father's face.
How many times must we go round in this endless game? When will you accept your responsibility as a lady in the House of Dawn?
Leanna's voice is scarily calm.
If this is what it takes to be a Dawn, then I don't want to be a Dawn anymore.
Good on you, Leanna. I'm proud of you, honestly. Like, in this moment, genuinely proud. There's a momentary pause, so still you can't even hear breathing. Leon stares sharply at her.
Leah.
But Leanna just shakes her head. Her mother laughs shakily.
Let's just calm down, all right, dear? We know you don't mean that.
She reaches for her daughter's hand, but Leanna pulls away.
I'm sorry, Mother, but I meant what I said.
Her mother's face crumples as hurt creases her brow. Her father scoffs.
Liana, don't be ridiculous.
I'm serious, Father.
He's about to respond when Leon interrupts.
Father, listen to her. She's not joking.
He looks from Leon to Leanna, and slowly the anger melts from his face to be replaced with confusion and pain? He looks at Leanna as if he's looking at a stranger. He shakes his head and abruptly stands to his feet.
I can't have a discussion with you when you're like this. Come find me when you're ready to have a discussion like adults.
You baby. Without waiting for a response, he slams the doors open and storms out of the dining room.
I'll go talk to him.
Leon scrambles after him. Leanna's mother remains in the room. She seems defeated.
Come now, dear. Really, think about what you're saying.
That doesn't seem defeated to me. Desperate, but not defeated. Leanna's voice softens as she sees the pain in her mother's eyes.
I'm sorry, Mother, but I've made my decision. I've tried to be a good daughter to you, and I've tried to make my house proud. But what you're asking me to do this time, I can't. I just can't.
Her mother sighs deeply and closes her eyes. Leanna looks at the rest of us.
We should go.
Her voice has a note of finality to it. Without a word, we scrape our chairs back and follow Leanna out of the room. As we leave, I hear Lady Dawn's faint voice.
Leah, I'll always be proud of you, no matter what.
That seems empty based upon all your responses up to this point. Leanna stops, stunned. She looks back at her mother, her eyes glittering. She rushes to her and throws her arms around her in a hug. Her mother hugs her back, gripping her tightly. All too soon, she releases her daughter. Leanna turns back around and leads us back to the main foyer. We wait as servants gather our belongings. Kara gently touches Leanna's arm.
Hey, what you did back there.
I know.
Kara hesitates.
Are you doing okay?
I don't know. A part of me feels lighter, but another part of me just feels sad.
But your relationship with your family was totally destructive. It's good that you got out of there. I mean, maybe this'll make them snap into things, you know? Like, if the family improves because of this, if they note the error of their ways, and they change for the better, that's good. And then you can get back in touch with them and you can rekindle things, but for now, it just was not a healthy situation. I mean, not for either party, honestly. Definitely not for Leanna, but also, like, not for her father. Her father with all these delusions of authority and, you know, control, thinking that he loves his daughter when really he's just using her. That's not healthy for him either. Like, he needs that bit of reality, and Leanna needs to be able to get away from it and be her own person. So, this is good for everyone involved. A fresh start could be good. Won't you miss them? There's nothing I can say to make this better. Yeah, I'll try to be optimistic. Our families can shape a lot of who we become, but we can't let them define who we are. You're more than just being a Dawn. You're also a kick Mage Knight.
Thanks. Your support means a lot to me.
Although she tries to keep her tone light, I can tell she's hurting. This could not have been an easy decision for her. Well, of course not, of course not. We fall silent. Suddenly, a voice calls out.
Liana.
We freeze and slowly turn around. Lord Dawn and Leon stand behind us, their cloaks billowing behind them. Lord Dawn straightens and clears his throat.
Liana.
Again.
Father.
I had hoped that you would move past this childishness and accept your responsibility.
180? Leanna's about to retort, but he holds up a hand.
But I see now that being a Mage Knight means something far more to you.
He glances down at his daughter.
I don't agree with your decision to willingly put yourself in danger. But I would.
Lord Dawn pauses, struggling to find the right words. I doubt he's used to anyone challenging him.
I would rather have a daughter who would recklessly put herself in danger for the sake of others than no daughter at all.
See, that's fine. You're allowed to disagree. But thank you for accepting her decision. Leanna's eyes well up. She rushes to her father and wraps him in a big hug. He stiffens in surprise, uncomfortable and uncertain. But as the shock wears off, a small smile tugs at his lips and he hugs her back. Soon, he breaks the hug. Leanna wipes at her eyes as her father clears his throat.
Now, there is only one thing missing for you to be truly recognized as a Mage Knight.
And that would be a penis.
What's that?
Leon hands his father a wrapped blade, which Lord Dawn carefully unwraps. A sharp silver blade with an ornate sapphire hilt glitters beneath the light.
Each of these blades has a legacy. They have been passed down to the sons of our house for generations.
Oh, well, that's cool.
But it has never been passed down to a woman before today, as we've never had a woman Mage Knight in the family. That is, before you, my daughter.
What did Leon say to him? He did turn around. Levant turned around really quickly here. Good for him, but surprising. Lord Dawn smiles proudly at Leanna. Really proudly? Again, like, what the heck did Leon say? Because this was a 180. He reverently offers the sword to her. She carefully takes the blade and scabbard and straps it to herself.
Thank you, Father.
Treat it well, and it will take care of you.
I will.
You can always come home, too. Your mother will find another suitable match for you.
Father.
That is, when you are ready.
Leanna smiles.
Thank you.
He clears his throat.
Good. Well,
He clears his and straightens as if talking to a knight.
be safe, be decisive, be vigilant. Above all else, be honorable.
Leanna salutes and Lord Dawn puts a hand on her shoulder. He nods and heads back to the dining room. Leon lingers behind.
So you're officially a Mage Knight now.
I mean, she already was, but I guess now she has a family sword, so... Leanna lets out the breath she was holding. The tension in her body eases as she turns to Leon.
Well, I've actually officially been one for a while.
Thank you, Leanna, for standing up for yourself.
I know. You looked radiant when you walked on that stage.
Leanna blinks.
Wait, you were there? You knew?
He grins.
You didn't think I'd miss my baby sister's graduation, did you?
Well, that's cool. Her mouth falls open.
How did you know? And why didn't you tell me? We could've...
He laughs and pulls her into a hug.
I'm proud of you, Leah. Maybe I'll be able to catch you next time you're in Illumia.
She hugs him back.
Of course.
They break away, still smiling.
I bet you're relieved you don't have to get married anytime soon.
Yes.
Although Edward really isn't a bad guy. He's kind and generous and easy on the eyes, too.
You know who else is, though? Leon. Not that they would get married, but I'm just saying, Leon does seem pretty cool. Leanna wrinkles her nose.
Thanks, but no thanks.
That was a pretty quick rejection. You have someone else in mind?
Leanna blushes but shakes her head.
No. I'm just not ready to give up my freedom.
Uh-huh. I'm sure that's it.
Yep.
Good, good. Because you'd tell me if you were seeing someone, right?
Wouldn't you, Leanna? Leanna's voice is squeaky.
Of course.
No matter who he may be?
I tell you.
Even if you were standing right here, right now?
What, Zach? You think... No, they're just friends. I feel the color drain my face. Leanna darts a glance at me, but tries to keep her composure.
I'd still tell you.
Leon gives Leanna a look.
Okay, maybe not immediately, but when I'm ready.
He smiles.
Good.
When Leanna turns her back for a second, Leon's eyes bore into me. A shudder runs up my spine as I notice the bright glint in his armor matching the glint in his eyes. He has to know, right? Or maybe he's trying to bluff? Don't look. Don't let him smell your fear. He's definitely bluffing. I'm gonna go with this one. I fix my gaze on the flowers on the mantle, ignoring the prickly feeling of eyes staring at me on the back of my neck. Leon doesn't say anything, and after a second, I risk a glance at him. My eyes meet with intense green eyes. They seem to stare straight into my soul. I tear my gaze away, trying to calm the pounding in my chest. I will not make that mistake again.
Stay safe.
You too.
They have one last quick hug before breaking apart. Leo gives the rest of us a farewell salute, then turns and follows his father. Okay, so I'm glad that ended well. I think his father still needs some work. Or her father. Both of their fathers. Both of their parents, even. I think they need some work. They're clearly very set in their ways and quite stubborn. I am glad that Leon was able to say something to turn his father around that quickly. And I'm glad that his father did, comply. Because Levant was just a douche. But I am glad that it ended positively for Leanna. I'm glad that they're more accepting of her. I don't expect everything to be, immediately, perfect for the future. But at least big steps have been taken here. Huge steps. So that's all good. Scroggins waits for us at the door. After saying goodbye, we return to the gravel path and begin the trek back down the long drive. Well, that turned out better than expected.
Yes.
Leanna is all smiles as we continue to walk. She seems to hold herself taller, finally feeling free from the weight of her responsibilities. Her happy mood greatly improves our spirits.
It would seem that as this business has concluded, we should continue our travels.
Agreed.
Agreed.
She checks the sun in the sky.
We've still got most of the day to travel. We should be able to cover a good distance before we have to stop for camp.
And we have about 60 to 90 minutes now to reach the sort of par for the next temple. Leanna leads us through the town and back onto the open road. We travel through smaller roads to return to course, making our way towards the Shadow Temple. Although Leanna mood seems fine, she's quiet for most of the journey. The rest of us keep talking to a minimal. It's been an emotionally draining couple of days, and we're all feeling the effects from that. Leanna's relationship with her parents is complicated. I know she has a deep respect and strong bond with her family, and after this morning, it's obvious her family loves her. I'm glad they were able to reach some sort of understanding and remember what is important. As we leave Hearthdawn behind us, we begin to focus on what's ahead of us. When the sun hangs high in the sky, we stop to take a break. I gladly sit down to rest my weary feet when Leanna approaches me. Slowly, I shift my gaze up to her. She looks at me expectantly. Are we training? Are we training today?
Yes. Why wouldn't we?
I just wasn't sure how you were feeling after this morning.
Honestly, I'm okay. Although I still wish they can accept my decision the same way they accept Leo. but I can tell that they're trying hard to understand.
It does seem they're trying hard at this point. Whatever Leo said to convince them, yeah. Or mostly Levant. Sometimes it's all you can ask for. I think they fully accepted it. Yeah, I don't think that for sure. No point to it. Yeah. The fact that they're trying means that they care, and that's really all you can hope for. Leanna nods.
But
Ho-
just because
hopefully
we
things
have
will
this
improve.
talk doesn't mean you can get to skip out on training.
I pushed myself to my feet. I wouldn't dream of it. We split off from the group and get ready. Then Leanna pauses.
Actually, you can still cast other elements, right?
Hopefully. I nod. Why don't I practice with all of them? She looks surprised.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
I remembered the fatigue I felt the last time I tried that. I have to get stronger somehow, and the best way to do that is to keep at it.
That's true.
Why the hesitation?
Sparring against 4 elements is a challenge for me, too. I think I may need some backup.
Okay, let's have one session to see how we are, and then maybe you could bring in backup. She grins and returns to the group, who are in the midst of eating and resting.
That was quick. Something happened?
Not yet. I came to enlist your help.
Whose help?
All of yours.
What? Wait, hold on. Okay, they're not all fighting me though, right? They're just helping with training? They're not all fighting me? She asked the team to help with training since I'll be casting all of the elements. Zach gets to his feet.
I'm in.
Oh, well, good.
He grins.
Any excuse to shoot something.
Yup. She gives him a wary look. Amy jumps to her feet and brushes off her skirt.
I will provide my expertise as well, as I am well versed in 2 of the 4 elements he can cast. I will be able to provide more guidance to his casts.
Makes sense, that's smart. Leanna nods and we all look at Kara.
If everyone else is in, then I'm in too.
Leanna leads everyone back to the open space where I wait for them. I wasn't there with you? Then how am I seeing this stuff? It's all first person. Zach wastes no time. He digs into his holsters and pulls out his dischargers.
Get ready.
I ready myself as they get into position. Once we're all set, Zach fires and I leap out of the way. The others rush in. Oh jeez. Amelia shoots a ball of fire at my chest, but I wave my hand. A wall of water shoots up, absorbing the blow with a hiss. Zach fires his dischargers. My face curdles into a growl, forcing up another earth shield. Violet light booms and explodes against it. Dirt explodes up into the air. Leanna blurs towards me, but wind howls around my frame. I zip out of the way, blocking her with a score of heavy blows. Kara lunges just as Leanna swings. I shove them both back with an explosion of wind. They squeak and fly backwards. Another violet light cracks near my head, then another and another. I dash out of the way, a gale freezing and howling at my ears. Amelia's bracelets glow. Ice pours from her palm. It groans across the grass, and I realize she's trying to wrap the ice around my feet. I wave my hand, melting her attack with a wave of shimmering heat. I barely have time to think. I just react. Another trail of fire flies at me, and I block it with an earthen shield. But as soon as I do that, I raise my sword to deflect Kara's dagger. I spin around and duck beneath Leanna's sword, pushing her back with a gale force blow before raising another earthen barrier to block both Zach's shots and Amelia's magic. I read a period for some reason. My breathing is labored, but I don't dare slow down, even though I can see the fatigue starting to settle in on my friends. I'm starting to wear them down. A new hope blooms within me, bringing another surge of adrenaline. Am I really taking all of them at once? Are they holding back? I don't know. Leanna and Kara hang back, their chests heaving. Oh, I was about to say, why is Zach? No, Leanna and Kara, that's fair. Zach is just sitting back. They exchange glances with Zach and Amy and nod. Uh-oh, I don't like the looks of that. All at once, they rush me. Zach fires off 2 rounds as he races towards me, which I deflect with my magic. Using wind to augment my speed, I twist out of Kara's range and meet Leanna's strike my sword. As all of my teammates' strikes becomes more coordinated, I struggle to keep up with their relentless attacks. The frustration builds within me. I need to separate them, but no matter how often I manage to push one away, there are 3 more filling in. There must be something I can do to just gain some distance. Ah! I forcefully gather energy into my fist. I leap into the air and crash down, pounding my fist into the earth. That feels like that might hurt. A blinding white light explodes across the field, mirrored by each of the 4 elements. I hear the yelps from my friends as they're knocked back. There's a small crater where my fist landed in the ground, and the nearby grass and leaves are singed. My friends stir on the ground, looking dazed and confused. A fierce pain twists into my chest. It unfurls and spreads like fire. I cry out, collapsing onto my knees. Spots dance in front of my eyes as I crumple to the ground.
Oh no!
Leanna shoots up. She sprints towards me, her sword forgotten in the grass. Her arms wrap around my shoulders.
Are you alright?
I groan. Her face is a little blurry. Don't worry about me. Goodbye, Cruel. I've been better. Yeah. Hopefully that's not too serious when I say this, but I'm gonna say it. I try to shift and let out another groan. I've definitely seen some better days.
Try to take it easy.
The others gather around me too. Are you guys okay? They nod.
Don't worry about us. We're fine. Barely. What's going on with you?
I shake my head. I don't know. I groan, gripping my chest.
It seems your body cannot endure the amount of energy you mass exerted.
She pauses, thinking.
Although incredibly potent and powerful, amassing such quantities of energy is proving to be quite dangerous.
The way she said that was as though there was a comment or a comma after although, and there wasn't. It's although incredibly potent and powerful, amassing such quantities of energy is proving to be quite dangerous. It's different than the way she read it. It wasn't that much though. I can still feel a lot of untapped energy within.
If that is the case, I would highly recommend not attempting to summon all of your energy at once. Ever.
I mean, I don't think that you should do that regardless of who you are. Trying to summon all of your energy at once seems like a bad move. Ever?
Indeed. If what you say is true, while you may have an incredible amount of energy stored within you, you are still limited by your mind and body. I fear such an excessive usage of energy could prove to be fatal.
We wouldn't want that. A sense of dread fills my stomach. I nod. Guess I can't avoid it. That's going to make eventually casting a rift really difficult. Exhaustion ripples through me. I moan and close my eyes.
You should rest. Come on, we'll help you.
Is anyone going to acknowledge the fact that I just took on everyone at once? And basically won? Basically won. Like, the only one who took me down was me. And in doing so, I knocked all of them down too. They haul me to my feet. One of my arms is around Zach's shoulder, the other around Leanna's. They help me over to the pile of bags and packs. I lean against the packs as my teammates rest and clean up. My eyes feel heavy and I fight to keep them open. I'll just close them for a minute and drift off to sleep, right? The sounds fade away as sleep overtakes me. A sound wakes me. I groan and blink, my eyes adjusting to the golden glow of firelight. Whoa, it's dark out. I groan, sitting up on top of my bedroll. Someone must have moved me and I didn't notice. How long was I out? I sit up and glance around. I'm not sure where Leanna and Amelia are, but Kara and Zach are still hanging out by the camp. Kara hands Zach a perfectly wrapped present. Oh, yay.
Hey, I got you something.
Zach blinks.
Got me something.
She grins and nods. I keep quiet, watching the scene unfold. I don't think they realize I'm awake yet. Zach tilts the present from side to side, curious. Then he shakes it.
Hey, be careful!
Why? What's inside?
We'll open it and see!
You have to open it and see.
He shrugs, then tears apart the wrapping paper without mercy, reminding me very much of a little kid on his birthday. He pauses. Kara grins in anticipation. Zach stares down into the box.
What am I even looking at? Where's the present?
Kara puts her hands on her hips.
You're staring at it.
He continues to stare.
Wow. I try to be thoughtful and get you a present, and this is how you react?
Yeah, I mean, take it out and see what it is and act appreciative? Zach's cheeks turn red as he sheepishly replies.
Oh, right. I mean, thank you. This is great.
You should have just done that before. Kara pouts.
You don't even know what it is.
Zach doesn't answer.
It's a wind ring.
Zach stares at her blankly.
When you turn it on, it gives you targets you can shoot.
As soon as Zach hears the word shoot, he immediately perks up. He gingerly takes the sphere out of the box and inspects it.
That actually sounds pretty cool.
I know. That's why I got it.
Zach sets the sphere down and presses the button in the center. There's a low mechanical noise followed by a whoosh of wind. He readies his discharges as the targets materialize. In a flash, Zack shoots through each target, dissolving them in the air. He grins, satisfied, spinning his discharger in triumph.
Oh, that looks fun.
He looks at her.
You wanna try?
She nods. He hands her the discharger. She holds it awkwardly, but nods to Zack. He pushes the button and another set of targets appear. Kara squints one eye as she lines up her shot. When she pulls the trigger, she doesn't expect the recoil and she ends up shooting wide. Her next few shots don't fare much better. Oh, Zack, you gotta teach her. Zack laughs at her attempts, to which Kara pounds.
No fair. I've never used one of these things before.
Here.
Zack goes to move behind her and wraps his arms around her. He molds his hands around hers. Kara beams, her cheeks pink. Zack's voice is a low murmur by her ear.
You have to hold it up like this.
He lifts her hands up, aiming the discharger straighter. Kara's eyes sparkle.
Oh,
She sinks her shoulders into his broad chest.
I see.
Ugh, jeez, I don't want to watch this anymore. I scramble off of the bedroll. What? No, that was cute. They blink in surprise.
Oh, hey,
His face turns beet red.
how are you feeling?
A bit nauseous, to be honest. Kara laughs, and Zack's face turns even redder. I walk away, looking for anything else to focus on. Why are you such a douche? I noticed Amelia sitting under a tree, flipping open a book. Leanna sits with her, looking over her shoulder at the pages. The colorful cover catches my attention. Is it the manga? Hey, guys. Leanna looks up at me.
Oh, you're awake. How are you feeling?
A bit nauseous, to be honest. Better.
That's good.
That is pleasant news indeed.
Yeah. I nod. How's your character book? Amy looks up at me with shining eyes. Oh, good.
Surprisingly enlightening. Of course, it's riddled with factual
I knew it.
inaccuracies. But the character interactions are fascinating.
I knew she would find the inaccuracies.
It has greatly changed my view on these sorts of novels.
I'm glad to hear it.
Leanna and I have been exploring this fascinating fictional world together.
Leanna smiles fondly.
Yep, it's been fun getting to hang out together.
That's good. Leanna pushes herself to her feet and pulls me aside.
Let's go talk.
I nod. We leave Amy to her reading and sit down a little further away. I'm sorry I fell asleep earlier. She shakes her head dismissively.
Don't worry about it. You seem like you really needed it.
I was pretty exhausted. I guess I did. We fall quiet for a second.
Our training earlier today. You've gotten a lot stronger.
Yeah! Yes, I have! I am ridiculous now, apparently. Yeah.
I've taught you everything I can at this point.
I pause. Does this mean no more training? Going to miss training, I can finally sleep in. Thanks for all you've done. I mean, I think the best thing is... Well, okay, so I was initially thinking the best thing would be thanks for all you've done, because I do want her to know that I appreciate all that she's done, and all the time we've been able to spend. But more focused on the time we've been able to spend together was I'm going to miss the training. But I don't want to imply necessarily that we have to stop training if that wasn't what she was thinking, you know? So I think this is the best one because it shows that I'm appreciative, and it doesn't necessarily show that I'm thinking that training has to be over now. Because I would still train with her if I could. I mean, even if she can't teach me anything, it's still good to just keep brushing up on things. I know I've been progressing very quickly, but I never would have gotten this far without Leanna's continual guidance. I really appreciate everything you've done for me so far. Seriously, I wouldn't know how to cast or fight properly if you hadn't taken the time to show me. She smiles warmly.
Don't make it sound like it's over. It's not.
Thank you. Good. Okay. That's what I wanted to make sure about.
We'll continue practicing to make sure you hone your skills. But now that you've progressed so quickly, I foresee our sparring becoming even more evenly matched.
I mean, I just took all of you out together, but yeah, sure. Evenly matched.
And with your multi-elemental casting, well, I'll also be challenged and looking to improve my skills too.
Okay. There's an excited glint in her eye. I think she's looking forward to a challenge. I'll go easy on you. It'll be nice being the one on top for once. Let's do our best. I'm tempted to do that just to tease her, but if it's actually going to come across as an arrogant thing, I don't want to do that, so let's do our best. I look forward to us learning together. Leanna smiles. The embers in the fire die down as the rest of the team gets ready for bed. Leanna and I decided to turn in so we can get a head start in the morning. We've lost some time due to my impromptu nap. Even though I slept all day, I still feel exhausted, and I'm fast asleep as soon as I lie down. It has been quite a day. Let's see what's up next, everybody. Shadow Temple, maybe? Cue outro, go!